In the late 1950s, a mysterious figure named Valiant Thor allegedly stepped out of a UFO, met with President Eisenhower, lived inside the Pentagon for 3 years, and urged the world leaders to abandon nuclear weapons, all while claiming to be a peaceful ambassador from Venus. Could one man's extraordinary story really hold the key to extraterrestrial contact? Or is it a perfect cover for something far stranger as we get into disclosure? Oh my word, let's get into it. Frank Strangevis published Stranger at the Pentagon in 1967, claiming that back in March 1957, a spacecraft landed near Alexandria, Virginia, and Valiant Thor emerged, a 6-foot-tall humanoid with fair to olive skin, brown hair, and otherworldly presence. Strangevis described Thor as a Venusian ambassador who spoke perfect English, demonstrated abilities like telepathy and materialization, and quickly taken to the Pentagon where he lived for 3 years, meeting Eisenhower and other officials to plead for nuclear disarmament and spiritual awakening. Landing near Alexandria, Virginia would hardly have escaped noticed. There would almost certainly have been far more eyewitnesses. And yet the bigger issue lies with Venus itself. Its surface temperatures soar above 460 degrees Celsius, and the atmospheric pressure is 92 times that of Earth. Every probe and scientific study since the 1960s has confirmed that these conditions make any form of native intelligent life there extraordinarily implausible, if not outright impossible. This alone renders the entire account highly suspect, if not complete product of imagination. So the question remains, was this vivid, detailed narrative truly based on genuine first-hand encounters, or did it draw too heavily from familiar 1950s sci-fi, perhaps even echoing a specific film? Or could something far stranger and more mysterious still lie buried in the classified archives of disclosure? In 1951, 6 years before Valiant Thor's alleged 1957 arrival, The Day the Earth Stood Still debuted with an eerily similar story. A peaceful humanoid alien, Klaatu, lands his flying saucer in Washington, D.C. with his powerful robot, Gort. He comes in peace, is wounded by a soldier, heals quickly, blends into society, demonstrates advanced technology by shutting down global electricity, and warns the world leaders that nuclear weapons threaten the cosmic peace, demanding humanities choose cooperation or face destruction. The parallels to Thor's account, a benevolent star ambassador, DC area landing, government access, and anti-nuclear message, are striking. Easy to dismiss as Cold War-era sci-fi inspiration, until Laura Eisenhower. Yep, Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, speaks publicly of her family's supposed extraterrestrial connections. Laura Eisenhower, a prominent researcher, author, intuitive astrologer, and self-described global alchemist known for her work in exopolitics, galactic history, metaphysics, and hidden government ET relations, has gone on the record in interviews, podcasts, and TV appearances claiming her great-grandfather met extraterrestrials, including details that closely match the Valiant Thor story. She speaks of family knowledge about secret encounters, offers of advanced knowledge, and deliberate efforts to suppress public disclosure. elements that echo Frank Strange's account almost too precisely to dismiss. History deepens with recent high-level hints. Congress held UAP hearings on advanced craft and possible secrecy. Former President Obama in a recent interview said aliens are real, clarifying he meant life elsewhere, not contacts. And President Trump's posted about direct agencies to release files on aliens, extraterrestrials, UAPs, and UFOs, sparking speculation that officials may now view this phenomena as genuine. Does direct descendants' testimony, backed by her fringe field expertise echoed by these congressional and presidential hints, lend real credibility to what could otherwise be dismissed and recycled 1950s sci-fi? Or is it merely another hidden layer? You know what this means. It's time to remote view. Before we go any further, let's elevate your journey, personal and cosmic. Meet your must-have companion, the Energy Healing Map at mdhmap.com. Perfect for beginners and pros. It's your guide to clearing trapped emotional energies like ancestral or past life baggage, aligning your vibration with your goals. Imagine releasing old vibes to unlock new skills like remote viewing. With a clear energy field, you'll tap into the unseen. mdhmap.com helps you heal, grow, and explore your universe. Grab your energy healing map today, clear the past energies, and align your vibe, and see what's out there. Visit mdhmap.com now.
I am so impressed with this website, how well you've done it. You know, I worked in analytics, IT systems before, and I'm thinking, wow, this is a lot of work. And the navigation and to know and just the whole mapping, you must be a very analytical person because this is so well done. So, I love it. Thank you.
All right, everybody, this is part 2 of Valiant Thor, and with me is Christina, and we are both QHHT practitioners who love all things woo and diving into the things that intrigue us the most, that mysterious underlying, did it happen, did it not happen, what was that all about kind of thing. And so we tuned into Valiant Thor. Christina, what did you find?
So, I gotta say, first of all, that like Valiant Thor of late has been flashing into my radar like crazy. So I thought it was humorous that we were going to talk about Valiant Thor, and then it was popping in, and not like in a algorithm like computer way, but like human beings in my field were like Valiant Thor, and I would be like,
I think in part of the process that what we learned as we're doing this, you told me that he quote unquote landed on March 16th. And we just did a video on synchronicities. Like,
Yeah.
this cannot be real.
Right? It is hilarious. I was just like, because I was looking something up and I was like, oh my gosh, look at this date. This is hilarious. We're almost on that date. Yeah, we're almost on that date. It's really funny. I was like, universe has mad jokes this week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The universe has definitely got a sense of humor, if you will.
Yes, for sure. So I thought.
All right. Sorry for the interruption, but I think that's a really cool backstory. So
yes,
go ahead.
It's okay. So, I tuned in to Valiant Thor. There was a being called Valiant Thor. And that's what I got. And he was from Venus. Now,
it's so impossible.
But what hit the civilization that's on Venus isn't an above ground civilization.
Wow. Okay. Continue on.
That's just what I got, that it's not an above ground civilization. So when you in our, lead up video, you were mentioning how, well, here's what it looks like on Venus. And I'm like, well, but if you live underground, none of that matters to a certain extent.
True. That is
So,
true. So is that civilization native to Venus, or is that what we would call today an invasive species? So is it like a
that
base that's underground? Oh,
I didn't ask that. That did not
shall
come.
we ask? Oh my
Yes,
gosh, it's so interesting.
let's ask. So,
Yeah. So I'm not fully tuned in. I know you are. Yeah, I'm getting nothing right now. I would have to sit with it and tune in.
well, I
And
can tell you, it's not an invasive, to use your words, invasive species.
okay.
It's swinging big no, and when I ask, is it did they live, you know, there normally, and I got big yeses that it was
Okay, so it was a planet. So how does he the environment's so different, obviously.
right.
Is it an like an energy? Okay, so I am starting to get downloads. I almost feel like Valiant Thor, what he had was what we call a meat suit.
Well, we're all in meat suits, Sally.
I know, I know, I know, but I'm talking about this is a technology
Okay.
versus spiritually. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. There feels like I feel like I'm putting on a suit when I tune into him. I'm putting on a suit in order to be in this environment.
That would make
It is
sense. Don't you
so
think?
so what does this being look like if he's an underground being?
But if
Oh
you're
my gosh. Do you know what's coming in? Do you
what?
remember the book we all had to read like in junior high, The Martian Chronicles?
Yeah.
This is that's my reference.
Okay.
It's a frequency change.
Yeah.
Can you tune into that? Can you sort of hold on? We're gonna pause because we're gonna send her into the deep woo and find out. So hold on. All right. That was a slight pause because we drilled deep a little bit more, and Christina has a really good knack for getting into the deep woo, and we tease those questions out a little bit more. It's so interesting. What did you see? What did you get?
All right. So, um, what it kind of looks like is it's a frequency. We mentioned before we stopped recording a frequency shift, and it is a frequency shift. In order for us to perceive Valiant Thor, he had to shift frequency for that. And I got that Valiant Thor wasn't humanoid. But as you were talking about, you saw him putting on a meat suit per se. So he put himself into a humanoid suit to be
Mm-hmm.
able to then shift frequency and shift so that he could be seen. And it feels like,
So,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going sideways. So go ahead. Stay with it.
Okay. I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. It kind of feels like to me, that was the only way that he could be seen. And I think he really was trying to, I feel like his main goal was to try to talk people out of um, nuclear armaments.
Mm-hmm.
So, nuclear power could have a place, but using it to destroy, life, I think that's the spot where it's kind of like he was trying to talk to the children and be like, now don't play with this toy this way.
We're not playing with matches. Oh
So,
my gosh. So how did he, I mean, think if he's landing near Alexandria, Virginia. I mean, that's a very populated place.
oh yeah.
So what did you get with all of that, the landing? Because I just like,
Um,
that's
he
where I go, where you kind of lose me in the story.
right. He did land in Alexandria, Virginia. Um, and to me, it looks like, the account basically goes that, he was met by local police and they took him to the government. Um, and I feel like, that's all true.
It's all true, but when you look at the actual police record, all that's been wiped. But that doesn't really surprise me, considering what we're learning in the Full Disclosure Project, how much secrecy's been going on. You know, those conspiracy theorists out there were saying this is true, this is true, and everybody says, "Well, no, we look here, and it's not true." And so you're kind of like, "So what is really going on?"
Right.
So that doesn't surprise me. So I guess why would they wipe that clean? Why? What would be the point of keeping Valiant Thor a secret versus, hey, we made contact? I mean, at that time. I
But
mean,
think
if he
about
quote met with Congress,
the narratives that keep getting pushed about extraterrestrials and off-worlders, and the narratives that are being pushed are that they're going to come and they're going to take over. Because if you look at that time frame, there's aliens that are benevolent, but there are more aliens that are coming in and being destructive and taking over. So I feel like, Valiant Thor doesn't fit the narrative because we don't want to have people that believe that, there is other life. We want people to be afraid.
it's easier to control people who are afraid.
Right. And I think, well, that's the end game, isn't it? I mean,
Hmm. But I just think in the population, so I'm playing devil's advocate here. In such a populated area, there would be so many people that would see this landing beyond just a few policemen that you could control the narrative, right?
right.
So I don't see. But then
Well,
again, we're just a few years off of Orson Welles' War of the Worlds
mhm,
and what a radio broadcast did to set
right.
panic.
Right. And think about, like, if you did see it, who are you going to tell that's going to believe you and not
Yeah,
think you're crazy,
well,
and not
yeah,
think you're crazy, and not think you're crazy, because
right.
how many people probably saw it, and your first thought, you're going to be in your brain, and your brain's going to say, that's not, nope, that I did not see that. Because
Hmm.
your brain and your ego is your protective system. Your ego is gonna be like, "Oh, no. I did not just
We
see that.
are so not going there.
Not going there. That's not gonna end well, so I did not see that." And you just tell yourself that.
Like, say,
Or somebody tells you that you didn't see what you say you saw.
right. Okay, so what else did you learn from tuning into Valiant Thor?
Um, I did, get that he lived in the Pentagon, um, for 3 years as the story goes. I also got, that he met Eisenhower, um, and that Eisenhower did really meet other aliens.
That's what Laura Eisenhower has always maintained. But again, when you're going to how you are perceived in society, she's
Right,
really at the leading edge of the woo. And so it's really
right,
hard to take her credible and where her story sort of breaks down. Yes, she's the great granddaughter
right.
of Eisenhower, but she changed her last name to Eisenhower because she comes down through the female line.
Mhm.
So, you know, when people are shifting like that, you begin to like, is she just trying to add credibility to who she is because she's already in the fringe society? Look, I have gravitas because my great grandfather is Eisenhower, and by switching my name out to Eisenhower, here I am. I am the great granddaughter. I don't have to explain to you how I'm the great granddaughter with a different last name. I know this goes sideways, but I think it's sort of key because when people point to Valiant Thor and Eisenhower meeting aliens, there's nothing but eye roll and, oh, here we go kind of thing.
Right.
And yet you have the great granddaughter maintaining, despite what people say about her, she's just like, I don't care. This is our family story. And it might actually be why she went in the direction she went for her professional life, right?
Right.
Why she went into the woo world, because
Right.
there were these stories that she grew up with.
Right. Well, I think she grew up with those stories, and there are probably some other ideas passed down within the family that she resonated with, and it's why she ended up doing the things that she's doing. You know, because wasn't Valiant Thor also pushing people to go more towards spirituality and consciousness and that kind of thing? And so, you know, we have so many different layers and systems of control here. It's challenging.
Right, but it's all being broke loose now, which is really cool. Now we really have to stand up and really own it, you know?
Yep.
I am powerful. So on a side note, not to take you too far sideways, I think it's interesting that documents were recently disclosed how it was somewhere, I think it was in the CIA, where they had done a study to see with the electromagnetic flow of our bodies, how powerful that actually was. And there was a study how they could mute it down. So that sort of tracks with this Valiant Thor. You mean he's coming here and he's telling people, first of all, we need peace. We need to not do nuclear. Nuclear is going to not only screw up your planet, but it's going to have a massive ripple effect to the rest of us.
Right.
You know, and that spirituality, you are powerful. You know, and that sort of tracks with even some of our ancient religions from around the world. They were all saying, you are powerful.
Yeah.
And then there's this other layer that comes in. No, you got to go through me. I'll tell you how powerful you are. So I guess it does, when you go the long road like I just did, it sort of makes sense why they muted down the visit of Valiant Thor. Right?
Well, again, you know, what would have happened if, you know, there would have been two sides that would have happened. You would have had everybody who was scared and everybody who wasn't scared. And which side would have probably prevailed? Probably.
Yeah, because in mass we can be really stupid.
Right.
We do a lot of dumb things.
The collective consciousness is not always as evolved as we would like.
That is so true.
So, I mean, I feel like if they had come out and done disclosure, plus I think they have agreements with beings saying this is when disclosure will happen. Like I feel like there's an agreement that is up, and that's why disclosure is going to happen whether people want it or not.
Yeah, buckle up, right?
Right. Buckle up, buttercup. Here we go.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. All right. Next on Associated Remote View, Christina and I are looking at the Georgia Guidestones. What do you think about that, Christina?
I think that's really exciting. I'm really curious as to how this is going to go for us.
I know. I kind of feel like it has a Dan Brown undertone to it. So
absolutely.
So, all right, everybody, please, if you will, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss another upload on some fascinating woo that we get into. And we actually really appreciate you taking your time to watch our videos. It does mean a lot. And we hope we're inspiring you to ignite your superhuman in you. Thanks for watching. Thank you.